Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is Chill Gamer here with a new video.
Hello ladies and gentlemen.
A new topic video about E3 2019. That's right, the Super Bowl of video gaming, as I like to call it. E3 2019 is coming close. It is almost here, about just one more week away. Starting Saturday, right? I have it on my calendar here. It's like Saturday or Friday to Monday. Throughout the whole weekend, it's just E3 and nothing but video gaming. So I thought, to kind of build up the anticipation for this huge event for video game lovers all across the world, I would make a quick video talking about what I would like to see at this year's E3, all while giving you all some entertaining gameplay of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which I think is fitting because this game in particular has to do with one of the games I'm going to mention later on in the video. So let's get underway. So E3 2019 is definitely the most interesting E3 showcase of all time, I think, because one of the biggest companies that always puts on a grand show every year at E3, Sony and PlayStation, they are no-show this year. They are not holding a press conference this year, which definitely has a lot of people skeptical, including me, kind of wondering, okay, like, what could possibly happen then? Why would PlayStation no-show E3? And sure, they have given us a reason, saying that they have nothing new to show at E3, which just sends some more questions down our throats, like, okay, well, do you mean you have nothing new to show for the PlayStation 4? Are you teasing a possible reveal for a PlayStation 5? And so far this year, Sony has been putting on their own little showcases called State of Play, which are just, these short live streams talking about the newest games coming to the PlayStation's library and cross-platform titles and whatnot. So yeah, Sony is a no-show at E3 this year, which sucks, but it does make it interesting because that means Sony's biggest competitor, Microsoft, who in my opinion always has the second best show of E3 next to Sony, that means that all the attention is going to be focused on Microsoft and their press conference. And judging by what we've been hearing so far, it looks like Microsoft has a huge jam-packed show planned for gamers everywhere. A lot of surprises and possible rumors being confirmed. All that good stuff. All the goodness of E3 is probably going to be showcased mainly at Xbox's press conference. We got other studios there, like Bethesda and Square Enix, that are going to be showing off their stuff too. But every gamer that watches E3 is going to be mainly focusing on Microsoft and what they have to show. But we'll get to that when we get to that. First, let me just get this down real quick. I will be live streaming my reactions to the E3 press conferences, including Microsoft, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and Square Enix. And I will be filming those reactions on my Facebook along with my girlfriend. I think I think we'll have a lot of fun doing it. I always live stream my reactions to E3 every year, so I think that having a someone like Rihanna down, who is as much of a much of a game lover as I am, I think having her as like a co-host would be perfect. Would make the experience a whole lot better for me. So yeah, that's going down, and it's, I believe from the schedule says correctly, the Microsoft press conference is going to start off the show, and they're going to have their conference alongside Bethesda, and Ubisoft and Square Enix are going to have their conference the day after, on June 10th. Electronic Arts, who usually has their own press conference, they're not going to have a traditional press conference this year at E3. Instead, they're going to do just like interviews and kind of giving us more in-depth details of their games that are upcoming and all that, and expansions on currently released games. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about what I want to see and what I would expect from all of these press conferences this year at E3. Enough of the rambling, let's just get down to business. So first, let's talk about Electronic Arts. Now, I think it's interesting that Electronic Arts is not holding a press conference this year. EA has had a very rough couple of years because their past few hit games, or at least games that were supposed to be hits, like Anthem, Battlefield 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2, a lot of those games were just bogged down by criticism and hatred for the current gaming market, which is just riddled with microtransactions and trying to pull some extra money out of the consumer. You know, that good stuff. But EA has been doing a lot of that lately, so a lot of people are walking into their press conference with just a lot of skepticism and a lot of, criticism, critical looks on their faces, like, alright, what could you possibly show this year that'll make us, go back to you with open arms? Sure, they got Apex Legends, which I think is one of the best games I've played this year so far, but it's, there's definitely a lot of bigger franchises like Battlefield and Star Wars that have a huge fan base behind them, and EA has just been constantly pumping out these insults to those fan bases, basically. And their newest IP, Anthem, which was supposed to be this huge, grand creation, like just like the newest franchise, the newest bestseller for EA, the newest moneymaker. It was just all a bunch of, of ridiculous, low-quality, free-to-play game nonsense, which I would have liked better if it was a free-to-play game, but no, it's a $60 game, or like $100 if you pay for the expansions and all that, which, from what I've heard so far, the expansions seem to be pretty non-existent, if you've been following what Anthony's been up to. So yeah, what I'm getting at is that EA doesn't really have a lot to showcase. I mean, they do, but it's like nothing that will really grab us, I think. The only game that I'm fairly interested in at this year's EA showcase is the new Star Wars title, Jedi Fallen Order. From what we've heard about this game so far, Jedi Fallen Order is a single-player Star Wars title, and it's like the first single-player Star Wars title that we have gotten in a long time. It's mostly just been microtransaction-filled multiplayer games by EA, but now they're actually giving us a single-player story-based video game of the Star Wars universe, and it's being developed by Respawn Entertainment, who are the same guys who made Titanfall and Apex Legends. So I'd say, yeah, there is a bit of interest in this game for me, but I mainly want to see what this game is in terms of gameplay. I think the gameplay, seeing this game in action is really what's really going to get me to to consider buying it. I think the gameplay has to really hook me in order for me to consider buying it. So I have no doubt that what they're going to show off is going to be pretty cool. But will it be $60 price tag worthy? I don't know. But from what I've heard so far, it looks to be pretty promising. Respawn Entertainment are like the last good studio that EA has under their belt. And I think that with their talent and their understanding of what makes a great, what makes a fun and great video game, I think that they can really make something good with Jedi Fallen Order. And they're promising no microtransactions, which is good. All I'm really looking for in this game is just a Star Wars single-player story-based game. That's all I want. And if everything that they've said is true, then that is exactly what we're going to get. So I can't wait to see what exactly they have to showcase for this game. And I won't be live streaming the EA Play event because it's not a you know, traditional press conference. So it's gonna last for like 3 days, I think. So I don't really see no reason to live stream it. But I am going to take, you know, some peeks at it every once in a while, see what's going on, see what the updates are. And who knows, there might be some surprises along the way. Like, I have my fingers crossed that we'll begin a Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 3. That's the only other game I want besides Jedi Fallen Order. Because, I love the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare franchise. The second one isn't as good as the first one, but I think that it would just be cool to see the series come back again with a fresh new look. But yeah, so hopefully there are some surprises that EA has for us. Now, with that out of the way, let's get down to, of course, what... You know what, I don't know, should I talk about Microsoft last? Since they're going to be the biggest showcase of the Series E3. I think I should talk about them last, because I feel like I have a lot to say about their press conference and what I want to see from them. So let's talk about the other ones first, and then we'll get to Microsoft last. So let's talk about Bethesda next. Now, like EA, Bethesda has had a pretty rocky year. You know, especially with the faulty release of Fallout 76, which fairly everyone can agree was a pretty messy game, and a game that did not deserve to be released at the time that it did. And I think Bethesda clearly has more balls than EA if they're going to put on an actual press conference this year. But they certainly have a lot of balls to even be showing anything, because it's like, besides Fallout 76 and maybe Doom Eternal, Bethesda doesn't really have anything to show. They have confirmed that they're not going to be showing The Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at this E3. Now, you never know. There could be a huge surprise. They could be they could, throw a curveball at us and actually showcase something for Elder Scrolls 6, possibly some look at gameplay for Elder Scrolls 6 on the next-gen consoles. I don't know. But as far as I know, there's not going to be anything about the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at E3 this year during Bethesda's press conference. So it's mainly just going to be Doom Eternal that I'm looking forward to. Well, actually, Doom Eternal is the only confirmed game that I'm excited for at Bethesda's press conference. The only other one that I'm excited for that hasn't been confirmed yet is the possibility of a Evil Within 3, because the creator or the producer of the Evil Within 2 is showing up at E3 this year. So everyone is speculating that there's going to be a huge reveal for the Evil Within 3, which I would be really excited to see, because Even though I didn't like the first Evil Within game, I did like the second Evil Within game. I loved the Evil Within 2. So I would love to see a third installment of the Evil Within series, especially with how much better the second one fared against the first one. And possibly, you know, with like an upgrade in the graphics, maybe it'll come out on next-gen consoles, I don't know. Maybe it'll come out this year, you know, kind of like similar to how Evil Within 2 came out the year when it was announced at Bethesda's press conference back in like 2017, I believe. So yeah, Doom Eternal and Evil Within 3 are like the two big games that I'm hoping to see more of at E3. And besides that, there's not really much else that I'm looking forward to. You know, Fallout 76, nah. I never even played the game. I just heard all the criticism about it. I never even touched it. But I'm not even a fan of the Fallout series anyway. Honestly, like, the thing about Bethesda is that I'm not really a fan of the games that they develop, like Skyrim and Fallout. I don't know, man. I just can't really get into them as much as other people can. But there are other games, like from their more like independent studios, like Evil Within 3, Rage, Doom. Those games I can get into. So yeah, I'm mainly just hoping to see more from those types of games, rather than, you know, Fallout and Skyrim. Next, let's talk about Square Enix, who really only has one game that I'm looking forward to, and that's the new Avengers game. And I think it's about time that we finally get some kind of info on this Avengers title, because it's definitely looking to be one of the biggest games of the current generation, or possibly the next generation. You never know. And I just think, you know, the whole idea of an Avengers title, it sounds really awesome. Especially with how Marvel's making a comeback in the gaming market with the recently released Spider-Man game developed by Insomniac for the PlayStation 4. So I'm excited to see what this Avengers game is all about. And from what I've heard, from what Square Enix has been saying about the game, it's like a single-player / multiplayer story-based game. And there's a lot of like combat and customization. It reminds me of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but I'm sure it's going to be very different, and it's going to be like very story based, which I'm, you know, really excited for. I'm really excited to see what this game has to offer. I think that Square Enix definitely has something exciting under their belt with the new Avengers game. But besides that, there's not really anything else from Square Enix that I'm looking forward to. Besides, there's this one game that they're going to reveal at E3 this year, and it's like, I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's being developed by the guys who made Bulletstorm, which, even though I didn't like Bulletstorm, I am curious as to what this new game could be. So there's that, and there's the Avengers. So that's really all I'm looking forward to with the Square Enix conference. Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, not really my cup of tea, so yeah. That's about it for Square Enix. Next up, Ubisoft, which actually has a few games that I'm interested in. Watch Dogs 3 is definitely one of them, and it actually just got revealed today that Watch Dogs 3 is going to be one of the games that Ubisoft will be showcasing at their press conference. And it's actually not going to be called Watch Dogs 3, it's going to be called Watch Dogs Legion. And from like what they've been giving us so far, it looks to be different than the other Watch Dogs games, which I think is cool. I want to see exactly what is so different about this game, because I never played the first Watch Dogs, but I did enjoy the second Watch Dogs game just fine. So I am interested to see if they're going to take a new direction with this third installment and what exactly they're going to do. And then there's Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is a game that is starting to grow on me every time I see it. So I'm hoping that we get some more info on it this year, and maybe a possible release date. That would be pretty cool. There's the possible reveal of a new Splinter Cell game, and even though the Splinter Cell franchise hasn't really been a game series that I'm too familiar with, I think it'd be cool to see what a Splinter Cell game would look like on the current generation consoles. And then there's the new Assassin's Creed, which I'm sure if they're gonna reveal, and here's the thing, like I doubt they're gonna reveal a new Assassin's Creed this year. I bet there's gonna be a lot of focus on Watch Dogs Legion and all that. I doubt there's gonna be a new Assassin's Creed, but if there is one, my girlfriend will definitely be excited about that. She is a big fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and from all the reports, this new Assassin's Creed game looks to be taking place in the Viking Age. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. But Ubisoft definitely has a lot of big games to show off. Of course, there's like the smaller ones like Just Dance and whatnot. Maybe a little bit of a Trials, some other Tom Clancy titles like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is supposed to be a pretty big game for him to show off this year. Ghost Recon Breakpoint doesn't look that bad, but I'm probably not going to pick it up because I don't know. Even though it doesn't look like a bad game, I just haven't been the biggest fan of these Tom Clancy shooter titles. They just all seem the same to me, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see if they have any surprises and any other interesting stuff to keep me on Ubisoft's side at this year's E3. So we'll look forward to that. And with all that out of the way, it's time to get to the meat and bones of E3 this year: Microsoft. Since Sony is not showcasing a press conference this year, Microsoft has all of the attention directed towards them. And I don't think they're under pressure. I think that they're completely confident that they're going to blow the roof off the place, because this is apparently going to be their biggest showcase yet. They've acquired a ton of new studios, and there's apparently going to be a bunch of like sneak previews or possible like gameplay reveals for all of their new studios projects. There's apparently going to be like 14 exclusive titles for the Xbox One from all the new studios, and I'm interested to see like what they got, because maybe I'm not saying it's definitely gonna happen, but maybe Microsoft can try to get me to buy one of their consoles, possibly the next Xbox, if they're able to throw something that's really, really cool and really interesting out the door. Now, speaking of the next Xbox, that is one of the biggest draws towards their conference, is the possible reveal of the next Xbox. Now, of course, none of the next-gen consoles have been revealed yet, so we have no idea what this new Xbox is called. But I think with you know, the new consoles and the dev kits and everything being sent out, and just the new consoles being closer to the end of development, I think it only makes sense for him to at least give us a preview of the new Xbox. Maybe give us kind of like a release window, maybe like late 2020, or hell, even early 2020. But and they might, you know, give us a preview of some games that are going to be running on the new Xbox with some, you know, more high-def graphics and all of that. Some looks at the at how good the games are going to look, how good they're going to run, the frame rate and everything. It's, you know, everyone, including me, is expecting at least something about a new Xbox. But if that's not there, then that's fine. We got plenty of current-gen games to look forward to, including Dying Light 2, which is a game that I want to see more of, because I loved the first Dying Light, and when they revealed Dying Light 2 at E3 last year, I got really excited. So I definitely want to see some more of Dying Light 2, and possibly a release date. I would love if they gave us a release date for that game. There's Cyberpunk 2077, which is a game that, like Beyond Good and Evil 2, is growing on me every time I look at it. It does look like a very fascinating game with beautiful graphics, and I think that, you know, this year they could definitely give us a release date and possibly a new gameplay showcase. And then there's the new Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is definitely one of the games that I'm the most interested in, because it doesn't sound like it's going to be a typical run-of-the-mill Call of Duty game. It looks to be a reboot of the Modern Warfare franchise, kind of like possibly resend the events of Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which is the game that I'm playing right now. And by the way, I do love Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It is my favorite Call of Duty game in the franchise. The story is amazing. So I'm interested to see what they do with the story for the new Modern Warfare, and it's apparently going to be a lot darker than most of the other Call of Duties. There's going to be a lot of graphic imagery. You're going to be able to change perspectives from the allies to the enemies. There's a lot of journalists going crazy over how violent the game is, but I'm excited because I think that this type of realistic tone that Activision and Infinity Ward are going for is definitely something that the Call of Duty franchise needs. I like the more grounded stuff. I don't like the just jumping around with jetpacks and all that. I like seeing a much more grounded war story with a bunch of great characters like Captain Price and Soap MacTavish. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what this game has to offer, and there could possibly be a gameplay reveal. Probably, since the game is coming out in October of this year, so they should give us at least like a preview of like one of the story missions. Possibly a remake of a story mission from this game, which I think would be really cool. Give us a little hint of nostalgia to get us hyped up for the game. And what else? There's a lot of games that haven't been revealed at all, but I would like to see possibly revealed. Like maybe a fourth BioShock game. The BioShock franchise, I think, is pretty good. I did like the first one. I did like the second one. The third one, I couldn't really get into that much, but the first two, where you're just, you're walking around the underwater city, that was the most interesting to me. So hopefully they make a fourth game where maybe it could be a brand new setting, a much more interesting one than just a city in the sky. I don't know. Maybe you can go back to the underwater city. I don't know, but it would be cool if we got a new BioShock. I think that's a franchise that is super popular and needs a new installment. And then there's I'm trying to think. There's of course the new Xbox exclusives. Gears of War 5, Halo Infinite, a ton of exclusive titles coming to the Xbox One. I'm interested to see exactly what is going to be shown off. Because with all these new studios that Xbox is acquiring, it looks like they might have some actual competition against Sony. We'll have to see, because so far the exclusives they have been putting out have been pretty mediocre, I'd say. I mean, because I don't have an Xbox, I haven't gotten to play any of them, but from what I've heard of other people's opinions and all that, they're pretty mediocre titles. But then again, even PlayStation has its fair share of mediocre. Like Days Gone, I played that game recently, and even though that game is not as bad as people say it is, it's definitely not in the same vein as God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn or so forth. So I'm interested to see what games Xbox has going for them, and they could possibly lure me into buying a new Xbox console to check out these interesting games. And as far as it goes down, that's about it for all the conferences. That's about it for what I want to see from E3 this year. Possibly a new Resident Evil review, and I'm getting my ass whooped right now. Possibly a new Resident Evil game reveal from Capcom. I don't know. Maybe there's supposed to be some Netflix stuff going on. Netflix showing off some new games. I'm hoping there's maybe a video game adaptation of Black Mirror. I think that would be really cool because I've been watching Black Mirror recently, and season 5 is coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna binge watch the shit out of that. And Black Mirror is just one of my favorite shows on Netflix right now. So since they are making a video game of Stranger Things, why not make one of Black Mirror? I think that would be really, really cool. Imagine just the creativity you can do with that, right? But yeah, so E3 2019, I think it's definitely going to be one of the most interesting shows of E3's history. I think that Xbox has a lot of confidence towards what they're going to show off, and I'm hoping there will be a ton of surprises and a ton of new details of games I'm already excited for, like Dying Light 2 and Modern Warfare. And I'm hoping that maybe at some point during the next week, Sony can come out and maybe give us a little hint or a little like sneak preview at their next console, the PS5. Because if Xbox is going to announce their console, I feel like PlayStation should kind of just even it out a little bit and give us a sneak preview of their next console. Get people hyped up and everything. It only makes sense, I feel like. So yes, E3 2019 is this weekend, and me and my girlfriend, we will be watching the Microsoft, Bethesda, Square Enix, and Ubisoft press conferences. We will be live streaming them on Facebook, and just look up Alex Robinson on Facebook and you'll find me. And yeah, that's about it. I'm just like, I did this whole video raw, by the way, no script or anything, so I'm trying to really just get everything mapped out here. But anyways, yes, that is all I'm looking forward to. There's definitely gonna be a lot of surprises and a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to. So thank you for checking out this video, and I will see you all during E3. I will see you soon.